you to our Team USA PLP presentation tonight. A PLP is basically our personal learning plan, and it's talking about our future aspirations, such as careers, colleges we might want to attend when we're adults, and so on. So thank you for coming. Hi, I'm Lana Nightig, and I'm an 8th grader here in Team USA. When it comes to a job, my mom and my dad always told me the sky's the limit, but I've come to know that the sky isn't the limit. There are footprints on the moon, and I'm going to beat those by going further and further than ever before. I plan to take advantage of every opportunity that comes my way to better myself and prospects for future jobs. On the frontier of engineering, they've been pushing these limits just like I want to, and they're making new advancements at breakneck speed. Robotics engineering is a rising branch in the engineering world. When you hear robots, I'm sure most of you guys either think of them taking over the world or going around cleaning up our garbage and compressing them into cubes while you get extremely fat. I'm a huge fan of WALL-E, if you guys can't tell. In reality, it's not what I've just mentioned, but it's so much more helpful. A robotics engineer can create machinery to be applied to search and rescue areas in which it's far too dangerous to send a human, and for practical needs in our everyday world. They've created robotic prosthetics for amputees that move according to the firing of nerves in the remnant of their limb. Boston Dynamics is working on something to take weight and cargo off of soldiers while they navigate territory, and this robot is completely functional on its own. There's also a cheetah robot for search and rescues, which has reached a running speed of 28.3 miles per hour, which is slightly faster than champion runner Usain Bolt. As a robotics engineer, many skills are required. To perfect your program, you need creativity and perseverance. You can't give up as soon as something doesn't work, and you need to think of different ways to make things work. The most direct route isn't always the best way, let alone an option, and your roundabout way might just be the only way. BFA offers so many great opportunities for an aspiring engineer such as myself. With the amazing Tech Center program, the Introduction to Engineering classes, and the newly started Robotics Club, BFA will jumpstart my education. Being extremely mathematics-oriented, I'd have to take calculus my senior year, along with being in the AP Physics class to get a solid base. To achieve the AP Physics class at BFA, I'd have to double up my science classes one of the years I'm there. In college, I'd have to look at getting a bachelor's degree, or I could get a graduate's degree for promotion to a managerial position. This degree would have to be specialized in mechanical engineering, and it opens up many different jobs, as it's the most broad branch of engineering. After college, some internships might be needed, for certain jobs along with experience in the field. City School has helped me so much in putting myself out there. It's allowed me to rise above the rest, and that's how I get the experience for my dream job. City School has also helped me in many other ways. It's allowed me to experience hands-on learning and gain great connections to technology. I'm more than ready for the trial and error process. I was put into Algebra 1 this year, allowing me to get a head start in mathematics, and I received amazing guidance from all of my teachers. I can't even think of being a robotics engineer without having my solid math base and my science. And because of my teachers who want their students to succeed, I have that. TechHead has allowed me to work through the true engineering cycle, and the programs here, like Codesmiths, have exposed me to what the engineering world is like. I know what to expect of technology and for creating new things. I know that frustration will come and obstacles will be there, but if there's a will, there's a way. I was offered great opportunities at Kids in Technology, which took myself and a few others up to Champlain College to get involved. I could play programming games, build a computer tower, program Lego robots to fight each other, and so many other fun activities that were really a great learning experience. Because of these opportunities, I was taught how to put myself out into the world and to care for myself, and most of all, to work hard. And I'm extremely thankful for these opportunities, because without them, I wouldn't be me, and I couldn't think of the career I'm thinking of now. I first thought of entering this field when I heard of a program called Rosie's Girls. I was introduced to the trades and other male-dominated fields, and while there was a large absence of women in these jobs, there was a large absence of filled jobs. When a special guest came in, I had my heart set on a job. She was an electrical engineer, but it was different than robotics engineering. Their world's different, but they have the same aim, and it's to create something for the benefit of others. It's amazing how a little girl such as myself wanted to be an Olympic-level figure skater, author, dancer, singer, dentist, taiko drummer, and hairstylist grew up to fall in love with this male-dominated field. I'm looking back on that now, and I laugh. Since then, my view on jobs has been greatly reduced and become far more realistic. But my current aspiration achieves things that seem like they're straight out of a science fiction book. I'm extremely ready to help push the limits and to better our world. I want to give back to what made me who I am today. I want to make lives easier and better for those who struggle, for those who currently serve us, and for those who have served us. To be able to help others while I'm doing something I'm genuinely interested in and well prepared for is something that few get to have the pleasure of. Thank you.
My name is Jordan Phillips. I'm an 8th grader here in Team USA that has been challenged to research a career path that best suits me. My goal for the future is to be in the Marines. After that, I would like to own my own construction company. Team USA has provided me with many things such as leadership, communication, collaboration, and working very well independently. These skills will help me pursue the career that I desire to get up and do every day. One of the main requirements to even be enlisted into the Marines is that I must have a high school diploma and I must enlist between 17 and 29 years old. After I am accepted into the Marines, I'll have to do a 12-week training program. Each week I'll be tested and trained on something different. These tests will range from testing my mental and physical ability to the absolute limit. The requirements to be a construction worker are not many. To be a contractor, I do not have to have any certain degree, but I will go to college for business management for 4 years so that I can own a future business. I will, however, take a couple of courses on construction during my 4 years of college so that I can have some extra experience. If I were to be a contractor, then in the beginning I will get an average income of $40,000 to $70,000 a year. After I move up in the field, my total income would also increase. The reason that I want to be a contractor is because I'm a very hands-on worker. If I were to sit behind a desk and stare at a computer all day, then I think I would go crazy. Another reason why I picked such a hands-on career is because I work extremely well hands-on. To accomplish these goals, I will go to college at Oklahoma State University after I get out of the Marines. If I were to go to college after the Marines, then they would pay for my college tuition. The reason I picked Oklahoma is because this state is one of the top places to live in and be successful in construction. I plan to go to college for business management, and I will take a couple courses on construction. This will take me about 4 years. The out-of-state tuition for Oklahoma State University is $17,523 a year. Albans City School has prepared me for these goals because City School has taught me how to be independent, a good leader, and to work well with others. To be successful in construction and the Marines, I'm going to need these 3 things. So now that I have them early on, I will be ahead of the game and succeed very well. Thank you.
Everyone, I'm Ian Manahan, an 8th grader here at Team USA. Over the past few weeks, my fellow classmates and I have been faced with the challenge of researching and getting an idea of what job we want to pursue in our later years. As a result of my research, I learned that a computer is not always the best way to find what you're looking for. After spending countless hours on the internet trying to find a career that interests me, I realized computer is not always the best way to find what you're looking for. It was not long after spending time with my 2 elder siblings, Isaac and Sean, that I realized my research was done. I had thought the idea to start a maple sugaring operation. Maple sugaring has been in my family for over 100 years, and there's currently over 15 operations in my family. That's a lot of maple syrup. It can cost anywhere from $100,000 to $1 million to start a sugaring operation. Our sugaring operation would consist of about 25,000 taps, and I better start getting in shape because that's a lot of walking. At the end of the year, we'd make about $300,000, but in the sugaring world, it's easy to blow through money. Burning a front pan costs about $1,500 to replace. This season, Isaac and I were employed at Misty Maples, a local sugaring operation in Fairfield, Vermont. Up there, they have about 12,000 taps, and only 4 of which is on pipeline, which is the latest sugaring technology. But the rest, they use horses and buckets, which I think is pretty interesting. And Sean is employed at Dominion Grimm, a sugaring supply company located in Georgia, Vermont. The plan would be to have Sean supply the equipment needed and be the operation manager, have Isaac be the work mule, and myself be the sales manager. The sales manager is in charge of getting the prices of all items needed, keeping track of the product we make and selling it, and keeping track of the profit. The question you might have is, what will you do in the off season? The answer to that question is, it takes a long time to pull 25,000 taps and walk every set of line and set them up again. Even though college is not necessary for this job, I'd love to pursue my dream of going to Castleton State College, located in Castleton, Vermont, a small town in Rutland County, about 95 miles away and a 2-hour drive. Not too far, but far enough to get away. I'd get a degree in business and it costs about $21,000 a year. When college is done, I'll come back to St. Albans and start preparing for the upcoming sugaring season. I'd like to thank St. Albans City School for supplying me with the skills needed to own my own business, become a leader, and teach me how to overcome any challenges that may occur. Thank you.
My name is Dawson Blodgett, and I'm a city school student about to graduate from the 8th grade. I see this as one of many stepping stones that we encounter that sets us on our path to our future. Our future is something we think about constantly. I see my future as a glimmering open city. Though I don't quite know which room to walk into, I know which building to look in. When I look into my future, I see a faint path with no definite destination. After extensive research about colleges and careers, engineering caught my interest. I want to be able to work with others, lead, innovate, and collaborate. By my very nature, I'm inquisitive, determined, and I am passionate about the projects that I get involved in. Architectural engineering is a career that would benefit all my skills. From directing, designing, and presenting project proposals to working with budgets, bids, and contracts, this job is something I would love getting up and doing every day. One of the large reasons I would like to end up in a career that involves engineering is because they are innovators. Their job is different every day. Different designs, different offers, different projects. I don't want to be alone in anything I do. I want to be able to work with others outside of an office environment. I want to be able to see my success and not just feel it. With architectural engineering, I would be able to live a life that seems suitable for me. One college I found that could help me reach the goal is Boston University. Yes, this school is known to be very large and very populated. This school has a 37% acceptance rate. If I'm to continue living in St. Albans, it would be about a 4-hour drive from here. The reason I chose this college is because I love the urban feel of the city, and I'm impressed with the comments in regard to their engineering programs. I would be able to get a BA, a Bachelor of Arts, in Architectural Studies. In order to make this goal a reality, I'm going to have to spend $57,000 a year. Paying for this school should be an interesting experience in itself, but I will do whatever it takes to find a financial package to become whatever my heart desires. When preparing for the future, I feel it is most important to look at where I have been and where I am now. We are young. We have the freedom to choose whichever path we feel suits us best. The best part about being young is we can change our minds if we find a different particular interest. With my high expectations, I want to make sure I have the skills now to prepare for my future. Did City School prepare me for a career as an architectural engineer? I feel no shame in saying that each teacher I encountered has prepared me in some way. The skills I have acquired over the years in City School are things such as pride, confidence, public speaking, and leading in many different ways and fashions. If I am to become an engineer, I will need to be measuring scale models and working with budgets and finding what works for each and every customer. Another aspect of my job will be writing up layout descriptions and guidelines. I will read over the contracts and boundaries that are set with each space I'll be working with. Because of my exposure to working with adults, I see myself having an easy time negotiating with adults because of my early experiences with it. It will be easy to find what is best for not only It will be easy for me to find what is best for not only myself, but my business and my customers. Thanks to all the teachers I encountered during my stay here in City School, I have set a strong, structured base for myself moving forward in the future. Though high school will be another stepping stone that I encounter and will need to adapt to, I will use this as another learning opportunity. Another chance for me to work with new people and be faced with different obstacles and be open to a wider range of fortuities. I will miss the freedom I am given here in Team USA, and I will miss everyone who has played a role in advancing my education forward. Thank you.
I was in 4th grade. I walked through the halls listening to the beautiful music that left Mr. Mahaffey's senior band room. I remember one moment where I stopped and I realized that I wanted to join the band in making this beautiful sound. Ever since then, I've stayed true to my dream. I'm Camille, I play the trombone, and my passion is music. Since 4th grade, my musical hobbies have done anything but decreased. Currently, I am first chair trombone in the City School Band. I also auditioned mid-season for the Vermont Youth Orchestra and was bumped to first chair trombone there as well. Vermont Youth Orchestra is a program for students that are considering a career in music after high school. I guess you could say I fit into that category. Along with this, I have achieved much more. I have been to several district music festivals, including a high school district, which I auditioned for this year, and achieved second chair trombone. Also, 2 years ago, I attended the John Philip Sousa Festival in Harvard, Massachusetts, and this year, I auditioned for the same festival in Maine this year and got first chair trombone. Adding up all my musical achievements, I realized that music was much more than just a hobby or an interest for me. Music quickly became my passion, and now I know that I want to continue with music for the rest of my life. I decided that I wanted to major in music performance and education. Performance would include orchestra pit bands for plays and musicals, traveling orchestras, etc. For education, I don't think I'm patient enough to teach elementary and middle school kids, so I want to teach at a private school or orchestra. I did some research, and I found that I'm not quite sure about a music performer, but for example, a member of the Boston Pops Orchestra receives $100,000 a year for her salary, and a music teacher makes about $40,000 per year. To be a music teacher, I need 4 or 5 years of college. Again, I'm not entirely sure about music performance, but I will learn more over the course of high school. The colleges I'm looking at are Ithaca College in New York, the Crane School of Music in New York, the Boston Conservatory, UMass Amherst, Berklee College of Music in Massachusetts, St. Mike's in Colchester, and finally the Juilliard School in New York. That one's a long shot, but I am still going to apply. I am extremely passionate about music. It inspires me, and it's so special to me that I want my whole life to be shaped around it. But this is a decision that I just made recently. Just a few years ago, I decided that I liked music. This year, I decided that I wanted a career in music. I'm only in 8th grade, and I have my whole life ahead of me. So shaping my future is difficult, but I do have a vague idea of what my future looks like. Before I end my speech and my 8th grade year, I'd like to thank Mr. Mahaffey for teaching me, inspiring me, and dealing with me all those times that I forgot to practice. I'd like to thank my family for motivating me and supporting me along my musical journey. I'd like to thank my mom for driving me to every single rehearsal. Lastly, I'd like to thank my teachers and my classmates of Team USA for always being accepting and there for me. It's been a great 9 years here, but I am ready to go to BFA. My future isn't set in stone, but that's okay because I still have time to further and explore and refine my passion of music. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Naya, and tonight I'm going to be talking about my goal for the future. When I was little, what I wanted to be varied from being a babysitter to being a movie star. But as I've gotten older, I've started considering more realistic professions. The possibilities are endless: a scientist, a cosmetologist, a teacher. None of these seem to be of any interest to me. So I thought about it, and what I really want to be is a nurse. But there are so many different kinds of nursing. There are diabetes nurses, medical surgical nurses, even travel nurses. Wanting to be a nurse suddenly opened up all these different careers to choose from. At first, I wanted to be an emergency nurse. This job can be super stressful, and I don't think I could handle some of the things that I would have to deal with. Blood doesn't bother me at all, but it's gone too far if a finger got cut off or something like that. Then I found out what a labor and delivery nurse is. Labor and delivery nurses are nurses that assist women during the process of childbirth. Something about it really interested me. When researching the job, I came across the profession of being an OBGYN. An OBGYN is a specialized doctor who diagnoses, treats, and helps to prevent diseases of women, especially those affecting the reproductive system and the process of childbirth. I looked up yearly salaries in St. Albans and Burlington area for both jobs. A labor and delivery nurse in St. Albans makes about $63,000 a year, and an OBGYN makes about $81,000 a year. In Burlington, a labor and delivery nurse makes $62,000 a year, and an OBGYN makes about $80,000 per year. Being an OBGYN is what I want to do. But if I was to become this, I would have to go through all the school I need to be an L&D nurse plus medical school. I don't want to go to college for any more time than I have to, and if I can get a job for just as good and I wouldn't have to pay so much for college, I'll go for that. So then I found out what a nurse practitioner is. They make about $96,000 a year, and they're basically a doctor, but without all the medical school. They are an advanced practice nurse that helps with all aspects of patient care, including diagnosis, treatments, and consultations. I was thinking about the two jobs, being an OBGYN or a nurse practitioner, and couldn't decide what I wanted to talk about tonight. But then I found out that you can be both an OBGYN nurse practitioner. In St. Albans and Burlington, they can make up to $111,569 per year. To become an OBGYN nurse practitioner, I will need to get a bachelor's in science and nursing degree, a master's in nursing, and I will need to get a registered nursing license. The BSM will take 4 years of college, and the MSN will take 6 years. To become an RN, you have to take a test after you've gone through at least the 4 years of college to get your BSN. I also have to get special degrees related to women's health, so I'll be looking at around 10 years of college, maybe more. I really don't know what college I want to go to, so I looked up colleges from Vermont to Boston to California. And all the colleges that I looked at seemed great, but my hope is to live in the Boston area, so I'm leaning toward Boston University at the moment. As of 2013, Boston University's acceptance rate is 37%, and all the expenses, including room, student fees, and tuition, the school costs $60,694 per year. 10 years would cost around $606,940 per year. I don't want to go to college in Vermont because I want to live here as an adult. I don't necessarily want to live right in St. Albans, maybe Burlington or something, but I definitely don't want to work in St. Albans because I know a lot of the people that live here, and with the kind of work I do, it would be kind of awkward for them or for me if we knew each other. So, and I also want to live in Vermont when I'm adult because I want to go to college, or since I want to live in Vermont, I want to go to college somewhere else because this is kind of like my big chance to explore more parts of the world. And while Boston isn't very far away, it's far enough where the atmosphere is a lot different. I don't know if this is what I'm going to end up doing. I might change my mind over and over again. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do, but I do know whatever it is, I'm going to like it. I'm going to choose something that'll make me happy to get out of work in the morning and not something that'll make me have to drag myself out of bed. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Killian Shea Smith and I'm an 8th grader here at Team USA. I would like to tell you about some things that I know about my life. I'm going to travel the world. But before I travel the world, I would like to go to college at the University of Notre Dame. I plan on getting my undergraduate degree in biology, which will allow me to apply for medical school. I would like to specialize in sports medicine and help athletes heal from joint and muscle problems, as well as optimize their nutrition and training. I really enjoy playing sports, so this profession will allow me to stay involved in sports as I grow older. I also would love to use my degree to help me travel the world. It would be so much fun to play different sports around the world, such as hockey in Russia, cricket in England, ski in Japan, soccer in Spain, golf in Scotland. With all of this traveling, I will need a lot of money. In my research, I found that it will cost about $3,000 per month. This includes hotels and food, bottled water, and stuff like that. In order for me to achieve this goal of going to all these places, I will need to start saving now. Even if it is just frying French fries at McDonald's for minimum wage, every penny adds up. Not only do I want to play sports in different countries, I also want to help people in other countries that don't have it as well as we do here in the United States. I would like to get to know their cultures and learn how they live. I find other cultures very interesting, and I'd like to learn new things. Thank you.
I'll eat. And whether your favorite food be salad with fresh vegetables grown from your garden or soft, melty cheese pizza warm from the oven, am I making you hungry? Good, because you're going to need food soon, and that's where I come in. My name is Gabby, and this may surprise you, but I'm not a cook, and I can prove it. Growing up, I wanted to do many things with my life. As the years passed, I became more aware of all the options and more unsure of myself, slowly beginning to see the reality of those dreams you have as a young child, thinking you know it all. As I got older, I was forced to think about my future. What do you want to be? Want to do? So many possibilities were thrown at me, and none sounded quite right. As the doors began to open up, and I was more informed about things I could do, I decided to search around, exploring everything I was introduced to as much as I could. It was a huge decision, and I wasn't going to settle for just anything. Suddenly, I fell into the world of food, where you can experiment with everything and create anything you could possibly imagine without making mistakes, except there's one little problem. I really can't cook, and like I said, I know that from experience. Yet I love this field so much. I mean, who doesn't enjoy eating? This is where I wanted to be. Therefore, I had to try to find other options within the field. I waited patiently, knowing the rest of the puzzle would put itself together eventually. When the world of fitness opened up, the two combined, and I had the realization that they fit together perfectly. Landing right in the middle of the two, perfectly balanced, I found exactly what I was looking for, a dietitian. There are many classes and requirements I'll have to complete to be able to have the most potential to put in this career. BFA offers numerous options for people interested in this job, including food prep classes and a culinary arts class through the Tech Center. I'll have to take other classes in college to enrich my knowledge, including various degrees in science, and receive a minimum of a bachelor's degree. I'll have to have a solid base in math, biology, and chemistry, and complete a certain amount of time in a practice program with a registered dietitian. Though I've not decided specifically what school I want to go to, I know I want to study out in Canada. I've looked at numerous schools that offer programs for this career, and there are lots of different options I can choose from. Depending on which state I want to practice in, I'll also need to continue to keep up with renewing my license, either annually, biannually, or every specific amount of years, depending on the state's requirements. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, employment of dietitians is expected to grow as fast as the average for all occupations through the year 2014 because of the increased emphasis on disease prevention, a growing and aging population, and public interest in nutrition. My time at City School has helped me greatly in preparing for my future education and career. Here, we've done lots of forms of hands-on work and been allowed to explore what we want, other options that schools don't have. I've gotten the chance to visit the Tech Center at BFA, practice giving presentations, and most importantly, to be myself. We've also gotten chances to do things like project-based learning, where we've learned to work with others and think creatively to come up with the best ideas possible to make our projects successful. I've also been able to use skills I'll need in the future, such as having a great amount of my work online and doing online learning, such as my language and the option of taking VHS, which I've been lucky enough to do 3 times. All my time at City School and my future at BFA will prepare me for the nutrition guidelines of the future, and more importantly, give me the knowledge I'll need to secure a job in this field that's not only well-paying, but enjoyable for me and everyone around me. Thank you.
My name is McKenna, and I'm an 8th grader from Team USA. As I begin to reflect on what I'm interested in for my future, I have realized my father's chosen profession is an interest to me as well. The medical field has always been an interest to me. I just wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I could be a nurse, a doctor, or even a surgeon, but none of them interested me. A sports medicine physician seemed interesting, and I decided to read more about it. Sports medicine physicians are medical professionals who specialize in prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of injuries from athletic activities. These doctors generally focus on joint, bone, and muscle health. Becoming a sports medicine physician requires obtaining a bachelor's degree and a Doctor of Medicine's degree. After high school, I will have to attend at least 6 more years of school for me to achieve this goal, but I believe I have it in me to do so. To become any kind of physician or doctor, you will need to take any 4-year course at any medical school and at least a 2-year residency in my specialty. The medical school I wish to attend is the University of Vermont, not only because they have an amazing medical program, but because it's close to home. To attend UVM, I will need to have taken a course in biology, physics, general chemistry, and organic chemistry. I will also have to pay around $74,918 per year. Once I have my medical degree and I finish my residency, I will be able to begin practicing sports medicine. I don't know exactly where I will want to work, but I do know I will want to stay in Vermont. A sports medicine physician may not end up being what I want to be in my future, but I do know whatever I end up doing, I will love and enjoy it. I have many years ahead of me and a lot of time to figure it out. Thank you.
Right now, I'm sure about a lot of things. I'm sure I'm going to have a great summer. I'm sure that I'll never grow into my feet. But one thing I'm not sure about is my future. In the 8th grade, it's hard to imagine what I want to do with the rest of my life. The few characteristics that I know about myself are what I consider to be very vague. So when the time came for me to write this speech, my options, like most people's, were quite broad. I consider myself to be someone who's ambitious and creative, but mostly someone that likes getting what she wants. So my first initial thought was to study architecture. It's ideal because I can embrace my creative side by designing a building from scratch, and also embrace my bossiness by leading a team of builders to get a job done. My dream, like many of my classmates, is to leave small-town Vermont It's to escape from the St. Albans hierarchy and anywhere where everyone knows everyone. So my goal is to make it somewhere where I can live out my own dreams and be my own person. Having this goal, I'm faced with more options. I can move to Chicago, Boston, San Francisco, Miami, etc. But my favorite city is New York. So in that area, I could attend the City College of New York, Cooper Union for the Advancement of Science and Art, Bernard College, and the one I'm most hopeful about, NYU. To earn a bachelor's degree in architecture, I would need to attend college for about 4 years, and then an additional 2 to 3 years for a master's. After college, I would start a day-to-day career in this field. An architect's main job takes place at the beginning of the design project. I participate in things such as developing ideas with the client, establishing budgets, and assessing the needs of a building and its users. I would also spend a great deal of time producing detailed workings, drawings, and specifications. It will not be particularly hard to find a job in New York and be able to take care of myself there. Currently, there are over 50 construction companies hiring architects in the New York area, and the median salary is around $60,000 a year. The national median is just above that at $65,000. As I said before, I'm not sure about anything in my future. For example, while writing about how much I want to be an architect, I pronounced that I wanted to be a psychiatrist and live in San Francisco. I guess that I can add indecisive to the list of things that I know about myself. Now, the point of this isn't to tell you that I'm going to be an architect or a psychiatrist or a dancer or a mediator or anything else. It's to tell you that I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, and I bet that any kid in here that says they are completely sure about their future is lying. So I'm 14, and I don't know what I'm going to do when I'm 25. Sue me. What I do know is that City School, and particularly Team USA, gave me the skills to pursue any career that I want. For example, if I can stand here confidently in front of all of you, I can do the same in a job or a college interview. A personal learning plan is a hard thing to think about. You can't really plan because we learn every single day. And as we learn, we change our minds. I hope that my classmates aren't worried, and I know that I'm not, because I have the skills and the time. Thank you.
I'm an 8th grader in Team USA. It's time for all of us to start thinking about what we want to be when we grow up. I personally don't really know what I want to be when I grow up. I'm thinking about going into the medical field to become a registered nurse that works in an emergency room. I haven't thought about why I wanted to go into the medical field, but I always thought about doing something with working with other people and taking care of people. The college that I want to go to is University of Vermont that has a good program to become a registered nurse. The tuition that I would have to pay to go to University College of Vermont is $14,184 since I'm a Vermont resident. How much schooling I would need is 2 to 4 years to complete college to become a nurse. How much I would be making for a salary is $67,930 yearly. I could have a BSN with a high school diploma. I would need a GPA with at least a 2.8 average. I would also need to take autonomy and biology courses also. I would need to take health assessments to become what I want to do in the near future. My dream hospital is to always work at the Fletcher Allen Hospital because everyone's very friendly and it's a very big hospital. What is going to lead me to become a registered nurse is doing well in school while filling all the requirements that I have to do to lead me to the path of becoming a registered nurse. Thank you.
I'm Alicia, 8th grader from Team USA. 8th grade is the time for students to be preparing for high school and having in mind what they might want to do in the future. High school is helping us consider and use our interests to pursue a job that we might want in the future. Right now, I plan to go to beauty school to become a cosmetologist or go to pharmacy school to become a pharmacist. I know that these are two completely different jobs, but I'd like to help people either look or feel their best. If I pursue a job as a cosmetologist, I will not need to go to college, but instead beauty school. I would need to go to beauty school for at least 1,000 hours. After that, I'll be able to get my license in cosmetology. To become a pharmacist, I'll need to go to college for 4 years and another 4 more years to get my doctorate degree in pharmacy. I'd like to go to Massachusetts College of Pharmacy and Health Science. It'll cost about $30,000 per year, and as a pharmacist, I would make about $112,000 annually. I first wanted to become a cosmetologist in the beginning of 7th grade. It first started when we went to the BFA to the Northwest Technical Center when they had a class for cosmetology. I thought the class was interesting and decided to take it. When we got there, I was one of the first to get my hair done. I saw what they actually did as a cosmetologist, and I saw that it was a fun and interesting job. The teacher was explaining to us exactly what they did in the class, and I thought the things she was explaining were interesting, and I knew that cosmetology could be a job for me. At the end of 7th grade, I thought about being a doctor. This first started when a few friends of mine thought about being a doctor, and I thought it was cool at first, but I had the typical fear of blood and needles, and I knew that being a doctor was too much for me. I knew that being a pharmacist was more suitable for me. So even though this is the end of my time at City School, all good things must come to an end. And if I don't pursue one of these jobs in the future, I know I'll be successful from my experience at City School. I've learned to direct myself into making the right decisions, leadership skills, teamwork, and knowing to learn from my mistakes and not to give up, but to try again. Life is a journey and not a destination. So whatever path I choose in my future, I know I'll be doing something great for not just me, but other people because of what Team USA has taught me throughout the past years in this school. I know I'll be successful in the future, I know I'll be successful in either one of these jobs because these jobs require special people skills that I've required over the time in Team USA. I've learned to be a leader. I've learned to be a leader, to work as a team, and how to deal with problems. Yet my biggest improvement as a student, learner, and citizen has been a personal victory. I now believe in myself, and I am confident in what I can do, and I know that I'll be successful in the future. Thank you.
Good evening. Welcome to Team USA's 8th grade PLP night. This is a chance for all 8th graders to begin to look at their future prospects for careers. We thank you for sharing this event with us and hope you enjoy our hopes, dreams, and skills. I'd now like to introduce Lynn, who will be going first.
Hello, I am Lynn Trahan and I'm an 8th grader at Albans City School in Team USA. The question, what do you want to be when you're older, has been bombarding you since you were in kindergarten, right? When I was in kindergarten, I wanted to be a ballerina. Then I wanted to be a veterinarian in 5th grade. Now I want to be a 911 police, fire, and safety dispatcher. It all started from me wanting to entertain people to saving people's lives. A 911 dispatcher has many duties, such as answering 911 phone calls to determine the type of emergency that is at hand and its location, decide the appropriate response, coordinate the accident or scenes, and give medical instructions over the phone before assistance is provided. Dispatchers work in communication centers called safety answering points. The skills that are required for this career are to be able to operate various computers, have good communication skills and speaking skills, since they have to give out information. I wanted to fall into this career ever since I was in 6th grade. I've always wanted to save people's lives, and this opportunity is to do so. What got me inspired was my kindergarten teacher when she was naming out different occupations and explaining what they do. She named several different ones, and at the time I wasn't interested except for ballet. The only reason I was interested in ballet because in being a ballerina was because I did ballet at the time and I loved it. To help me pursue my career better, I would have to have a high school diploma and pass a written exam and a typing test. In addition, I would have to pass a background check, lie detector, drug test, and as well as hearing and vision tests. I must pass the training. Training is 40 hours or more of initial training from every 2 to 3 years. Before I start my career, I'm going to apply for USC, University of Southern California. I would like to apply to this college because they have many different courses that I would like to take to pursue my career later in life. If I get accepted to USC, I would take the medical and law course to help me pursue my career better. From being at City School and Team USA for only 2 years, this school has taught me a lot. from learning how to public speak to having leadership skills. All the skills I have learned here at City School have made me improve greatly, and with the skills have helped me improve greatly. The skills that are required for my future career, I've already practiced and learned here at City School. City School has prepared me a lot for my future. If I hadn't gone to the school, I don't know where I'd end up later in my future. I'm now hopping onto a road of success, and City School has helped me for my near future. It's provided me with everything that I'll need to be successful in my career and everything that will come my way. Thank you.
I'm an 8th grader at St. Albans City School. The jobs that I have always wanted have always varied drastically. I have wanted to be a pastor. The job just seemed interesting to me. But I also wanted to serve my country and join the military. I was having trouble deciding, so why not both? I'm putting my focus on becoming a chaplain. The quickest way to describe a chaplain is a priest that is assigned to an Army, Navy, Air Force, or Marines unit that holds service for the religious of the group. I want this job because I have always been interested in the job of a pastor, and I've always wanted to serve my country. This way I can serve my country on a spiritual level, providing moral and motivational support to the soldiers of our country. Like most jobs today, it requires a bachelor's degree in anything and a graduate degree in theological or religious studies, and 2 years experience as a regular pastor. To be honest, there are many different colleges that offer these degrees, but I have not heard of any of them before. I need to look into these colleges to make sure that they are truly qualified and suitable schools. The hardest part of this will definitely be college. It will be hard, but thankfully Team USA and City School is helping me with this and is helping me achieve this goal in many different ways. Obviously, City School does not hold Bible studies or train soldiers, but being a chaplain is a job that requires much public speaking, and we all know Team USA has a lot of that. It will also require me to write my own sermons and prayers, and language arts will help me with that too. But any route I can take, and City School would try their best to help me. However, I'll leave City School this year, and unless BFA starts offering theology courses this year, I will have to teach myself so I can be prepared for college. I will apply for an Army scholarship, and it would help if I talked to my pastor about it. It is a lot of work, but it'll be worth it for what I want to do. But is any of this final? No. As I grow older and my brain develops more, I may find something that I previously had no interest in doing might interest me more than ever. I wrote a list of things that I would be happy doing, but this is what I want to do at the moment. This is what I would be happiest doing. I plan on pursuing happiness and taking the paths that interest me.
Today I'm going to talk to you about what I would like to pursue in my future. I've always wondered what my life would be like when I grow up. I believe in taking life one day at a time and to see where it takes you. I dream of becoming a writer. To many, it may not seem like anything special, but to me, it is. Writing for me is a way to express how I feel, because even when you're physically alone, you're never truly alone when you have a pencil and a piece of paper. To me, writing is a way that I can show my true personality when I can't build up the courage. It's a way that I can share what I feel with others who could relate. Writing has practically been my whole world since I started the 6th grade. It was my writing teacher here at St. Albans City School who truly guided me towards discovering my dream of becoming a writer someday. Although I know that this could not be my only priority, it is definitely something that I would want to do in my later life. As well as becoming a part of the Peace Corps organization that sends Americans to other countries in need to help preserve harvest and life. At 18 years old, I hope to join, and then hopefully travel to Africa, where I could help the children who die every day. Where every day, roughly 2,500 children die of disease or starvation. I want to help these people, because if you only live once, you should make it worth it. I quote, "The adventure of life is to give. The purpose of life is to grow. The nature of life is to change. The challenge of life is to overcome. The essence of life is to care. The opportunity of life is to serve. The secret of life is to dare. The spice of life is to befriend. And the beauty of life is to give." I do not know of whom wrote this, but whomever had written it was someone who had definitely captured the essence of life and what it really means. After the Peace Corps, I plan on coming back to St. Albans and going to college. I would like to attend Northeastern University, located in Boston, Massachusetts. It is a fine college that is close to home and close to family and friends. My Uncle Conrad even serves as police officer number 2 with the Northeastern University Police. I believe that both Northeastern and my dream college, Washington University, located in St. Louis, Missouri, are both very good colleges. One offers me lessons that will enhance my writing skills and teach me about biology. The other is close to home, with some family even in Boston. I know that when I have to decide one day, I'll be ready to. But right now, I should focus on what I need to do to get there, not what I am going to do when I get there. Because Northeastern, a college with a 31.9% acceptance rate, there's still no guarantee. At this point in my life, I feel that I would probably settle down, get a steady job, and focus on my writing career. I plan on coming back to my home, coming back to St. Albans, to come back to this very school where so many have taught me. I hope that I could return the favor. I would love to become a kindergarten teacher, or even a writing teacher. I hope to come back as soon as I can and teach alongside most of the teachers who have taught and inspired me. I quote from Ann Landers, "It is not what you do for your children, but what you have taught them to do for themselves that will make them successful human beings." As for my writing career, I plan to become very successful. Of course, there's no telling what could actually happen in the near future, but to dream is to have imagination, and to have imagination is to be creative, and to be creative is to be your own artist in life, your own idol, and to know that you can never have to act like someone else because there's no one else in the world like you. I dream of writing fiction stories for children and teens, maybe even adults. It is the kind of genre that I succeed at and hope to become more persistent with every day of my life and becoming a better writer and a better leader. I have planned on pursuing these dreams since I was in the 6th grade, and I've even taken a test which has statistically shown that this goal makes sense for me. I quote my inspiration in life. "Life is a beautiful collage of priceless memories and moments, which when pieced all together creates a unique, treasured masterpiece." By Melanie M. Cloris. Or even, "Life is too short to worry. Life is too short to be sad. Life is too short to ponder on things we will never have. Life is too short for sadness. Life is too short for tears. Never count the day, never count the years. Life is too short for falling down. Life is too short for war. Life is a gift, don't waste it. Life is so much more," by John F. Connor. Or even the 5 W's of life. Who you are is what makes you special. Do not change for anyone. What lies ahead will always be a mystery. Do not be afraid to explore. When life pushes you over, you push back harder. Where there are choices to make the one you won't regret. And why things will happen will never be certain. Take it in stride and move forward. Or my personal favorite, "She lives the poetry she cannot write," by Oscar Wilde. Life is like an open book. Don't think of it as strengths and challenges. Think of life as 365 blank pages waiting to be written. I plan to write my own. This is what I would like to pursue when I grow up. Thank you.
I'm an 8th grader here in Team USA Albans City School. My whole life, I've felt inspired to be in the medical field. I plan to pursue this job. As I get older and think about it, I've realized exactly what in the medical field I would like to be. I'd like to be a traveling registered nurse. Think about it. In my opinion, there's nothing better than being able to travel the world in a high-paying position while also helping people. Now that is my dream that one day I can fulfill. I was inspired to pursue this career when I was much younger. With a lot of my family doing this and being around it, I thought it may be something I would like to do. Also, a close family friend had worked in a nursing home at the time, and I can remember going there to bring the elderly folks cookies and wanting to visit each one, or always wanting to visit the patients in the emergency room, hoping to be able to help them. It may seem kind of odd to you, but it was actually kind of fun to me. I just know the hospital is where I'd like to spend my days. I would like to attend the University of Florida. The total cost for me to attend on and off campus will be $20,870 annually. In order to be able to do that, I need to get a high school diploma. Then from there, I would need, at minimum, a degree as a registered nurse. This will take anywhere from 2 to 4 years. Once these credentials have been obtained, I'll have to pass the NCLEX-RN exam. Once I have completed and passed exam, I will need to work for minimum wage at a hospital in the specialty I want to practice in. Once I have completed all of these requirements, I am eligible to interview for an available travel nurse position. Finding the job is the easy part with nurses now in demand. I would have to work with a staffing agency which will be able to offer me many job opportunities. I will be able to then compare different offers and interviews and decide which one will be best for me. As a travel nurse, I will be able to enjoy the excitement of exploring new places and trying new things. I'll be able to achieve the valuable experience to immerse myself in each location, in each hospital. I'll not simply be a visitor, but a crucial component of each nursing staff, making new friends, learning unbelievable things. I've been told to pursue my happiness, and that's exactly what I'll be doing each and every day being in this field. BFA offers many different opportunities, such as the medical class that will allow me to get my licensed nurse assistant license by my senior year. I would also like to take all AP classes, considering it will help when I'm trying to apply for a good university. Throughout my years in high school, I will need to take many classes to be able to prepare me in my years in college. First off, I would need to take as much biology as I can, especially human biology, like human anatomy and physiology. I'd also need to take advanced classes in math. Also, all science-related classes such as chemistry, biology, and physics. St. Albans City School has prepared me for the mountains I'm about to climb in my future in so many ways, more specifically being in Team USA. Team USA has allowed me to realize who I am. I've become more self-confident, I've gained public speaking skills, and all these have given me the opportunity that have made me a stronger person academically. I've gained a lot of project-based learning, which will help me when I'm faced with numerous issues that I'll have to figure out ways to deal with. I have really learned how to simply just think of the best way to deal with numerous situations. Overall, I have been allowed to get the skills that will get me through my high school courses and will lead me to the rest of my life. Basically, being in St. Albans City School has provided me with a solid platform that will allow me to start my long road of education. Thank you.
This is really tall. Hello, my name is Brenna Douglas, and I'm here to talk about my future. Ever since I was little, I've thought about what I wanted to be. When thinking about all of my options, I've always come back to one overriding idea. I want to create a housing empire that involves interior design, architecture, and real estate. I would like to remodel houses. I would also like to flip houses. Flipping houses is when you buy a rundown house, make it livable, and sell it. It also makes sense to become my own real estate agent instead of paying someone else to buy and sell the houses for me. Usually, when a property is bought or sold, an agent does the work and makes a percentage of the sales price. I will keep that all myself by being my own agent. I became interested in this career when I was younger. Then, even now, I change around my room all the time, sometimes even other rooms in my house. Whenever my parents decide to change around areas in my house, I have to put my 2 cents in, whether it's wanted or not. I find interior design and architecture shows very appealing to me, and I end up watching them all the time. For years, I've been fascinated with the idea of being like these people. I know that to achieve this dream, I'm going to need a good education, which I have already started to acquire. City School has not helped me with the educational part of what I want to become, but it has helped me by giving me the people and leadership skills to get what I need to get done. For example, I've learned that first impressions are everything, and it's important to make a good one. I've also learned that a leader knows when to step up, when to take charge, and when to follow. These are just some of the many skills I will need to become successful. To further my education, I'm planning on taking computer-aided design courses on interior design, architecture, and business. I want to take building trades up at BFA, so I have an idea of what to expect in college. In my junior and senior year summers, I'm hoping that I'll be able to connect with local contractors and work with them or get helpful information from them that could help me in my future. For my college education, I have considered going to Boston Architectural College and California College of the Arts. I'm not sure of the exact courses I will need to take, but I will look into it more when I'm ready to start finding the right college. After college, I'm planning on working for an interior design or architecture company. Maybe even start my own business someday. Maybe work for the DIY channel. I'm not sure of exactly what I will do. However, I do know that whatever it is, it will be something that makes me happy and excited to wake up and go to work in the morning. Thank you.
Good. Hello, Mr. Malin. Beginning around the 4th grade, I found an interest in culture. I loved to read history books, look at maps, and I loved any class that had to do with the culture in the world. These last few years, I have received plenty of time to work on this topic, and based on this, I think that the job that would fit me the most is anthropology. Anthropology is the study of human development and their lives. There are many types of anthropologists, but I would think I would probably be a cultural anthropologist. As a cultural anthropologist, I go out and do many things. A company would hire me, and I could do several jobs. Maybe I would be an archaeologist, like go out and dig for artifacts. Or I could go out and take surveys, or even live with the people I'm studying to see their lives from a different perspective. In high school, I will have lots and lots of things to do. But specifically, I'll have to do certain things in high school. Oh, sorry. 4 years in English, 3 years in math, and 4 years in social studies. Also 3 years in science. I should probably also take a second language. To get this job, I also have to spend several years in college. The average schooling for anthropologists should be a master's degree or a PhD. You should also have some experience in the field as an intern or someone working in a museum. There are hundreds of great colleges around here, but there's 2 I would probably go to. Either UVM, which is good, it's near, and the tuition would be cheaper than other colleges, but it doesn't have a master's degree in anthropology, so I would have to transfer. Or I could go to UMass in Amherst, Massachusetts. It is farther away, but I could get my master's degree there. Plus, it's just a nice college. The experience here at City School has helped me enormously. It has helped me get skills that I will need for a long time here getting my job. I have gotten communication skills so I can talk to the people that I'm working with, and investigative skills so I can learn about what I'm finding. I have to put a lot of work into my future job, but if I want to be the very best like no one ever was, I have to put a lot of work into it. And this will take tons of time, and it'll take tons of work. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lily. I'm an 8th grader in Team USA. What I would like to be when I get out of high school is a real estate agent. I am really interested in looking at other people's houses to see how much it should be put up for. And I'm also interested in looking at selling. Commercial properties like storage apartments, buildings, and businesses. I would love to show people around a house that they would like to look at and ask them some questions about the house. I would also like to talk to people on the phone and get people interested in using me to sell their house to buy a new one. I would like to learn how to post houses and other places on websites. My favorite thing about this job is you're not staying in the office all night. It would be a good way for me to meet new people that I've never met before outside of work. Being a realtor is a good way to learn things about other houses, like what type of heat that they have and other kinds of accessories. When you're working as a real estate agent, you get paid $60,000 a year, but when you first start working as a real estate agent, you get paid around $30,000 a year, but it depends on how much the house is put up for and how much it's selling for. Real estate agent gets paid by commission. I would like to go to Florida State University College because they have all the classes I would like to take to get ready to be a realtor. I have to go to college for 4 to 4 years. At Florida State University College, I would have to take 63 hours to be a real estate agent. I would have to be in each class for an hour. The rest of my credits will be in businesses and communication. The things I need to learn to be a realtor is how to do registry, insurance, and taxes. I also would need to know how to post houses and other places on the internet. I would have to know how much houses or other places should cost. I would have to ask people questions when they're done looking. I would have to be 18 or older to be a realtor because I want to make sure that I have a license to drive. if I don't have my real estate agent license, then I can't do the job, I can't do the dream that I want to do. Florida State University will cost me $36,709 because I live out of state. The dorms will cost $6,160. The books and supplies are going to cost $1,000. My transportation would cost $2,816 because I don't live in Florida. I would have to apply as soon as the senior begins for college. Once I sign up for that college, I have to make sure that I submit it right away so that the office can get it. The reason why I picked this career was because my house is up for sale and seeing a for sale sign for my house makes me interested in being a real estate agent. My dad has a friend that's a realtor, and when she went to my house, she made me think of being a real estate agent, and it also seems like a fun job. How she made me think of being a realtor is when I saw her and when my dad told me that she's a real estate agent. Before my dad and his friend got me interested in being a real estate agent, I saw being a cosmetologist, but then I changed my mind. When I started to look at houses online, and when my dad told me that he has a friend that's a realtor, it just came to me, and I decided once I met her and saw the sign outside my house, and that's what made me change my mind. I have learned many skills at City School that will help me with my career choice. I have learned the math I will need and the writing reading skills that will be useful to pass the test. I have also learned how to work with a team, and most importantly, I have learned communication skills. These skills, along with creativity, clever thinking, people skills, will make me successful. Yet the biggest reason that I will be successful is because I gain self-confidence. I know I can succeed, and therefore I will.
Hello, my name is Luke Semianic, and I'm an 8th grader here at Team USA. My nickname is Mr. President. People call me Mr. President because I work the room as I come in. I greet everybody as I come in, and I'm friendly with everyone. So people say that I could be the president. And that doesn't seem too bad. But when I was 6, I was at the dinner table with my family, and my parents asked me, what do you want to be when you get older? I answered them in a straight face, a money getter.
Politician.
From the ages of 8 to 13, I wanted to go into the Marines. Now that I'm older, that doesn't really seem like my plan A. I don't really have a plan A, but the idea of a teacher seems pretty nice. Teachers like to see kids strive to reach their goal and give them knowledge to pursue anything they want to be. And I really love that. I want to see kids grow up as I'm growing up with them. There are a couple reasons why I want to be a teacher. The biggest one is that my mom went to college to be a teacher, but didn't finish. She went to Southeastern, and that is one of the colleges that I want to go to. My brother is currently attending Southeastern right now to be a pastor, and he says that it's great down there. Another college that I would like to go to is Boston College. They have a great sports program, and I would like to one day participate in that, or just cheer them on. I would also like to go to UCLA. UCLA because in California, it's always hot and I can tan whenever I want to. I also have family that I've never visited out in California, and I'll have the chance to go and visit them. Team USA has helped me in many ways. As Brenna said, first impressions are very important. And as a teacher, interviewing for a job, that's going to be very, very important. If I don't make the right first impression, they won't hire me. And so I need to get that straight. I've also learned that a teacher can't always give them the answer, so I need to lead them to the right answer and not just give it to them. As I said before, I've changed my jobs many times, and so that's why I don't really have a plan A. I'm in 8th grade, so I got plenty of time to figure it out. Thank you.
I'm Noah Lutz, and I'm going to talk about my plans for the future. I don't know exactly what career I would like to go into, but I am interested in a couple of things. I like the field of psychology, and I am good at math. I have Algebra 1. I would like to follow one of these two paths. I could go to Stanford for psychology. They're #1 in psychology, and anywhere you can get a math degree. I could be a mutual fund manager or an investment banker with math degree, and a child psychiatrist or an engineer in psychology. I have to thank the school for teaching me everything I know. It would really help. I think I would do good in these two fields, because with either one, you have to work with people, sometimes kids, and I'm good with that, and I like to solve other people's problems. It'll take me 4 to 7 years to get a degree in psychology, and 3 to 4 years to get a degree in math. I would make about $40,000 as a starting salary being a math teacher, and I could make up to $110,000 being a psychologist. In college, I might want to drop out for any reasons. I don't have the money to pay for it or anything, so that's why I would fall back onto mathematics. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tom Westcott. I'm an 8th grader here in Team USA. The career I want to pursue is carpentry. This career has interested me ever since I was in the 4th grade because my dad would take me to work and such. I enjoy building. I like turning a bunch of boards into something real and useful. Working with my hands and my head will provide me with a good wage and for a good day's work. I'm going to start this career as a freshman in high school. In high school, I'll be taking a course called Construction Trades. It's an intro to building trades, which I'll be taking as a sophomore up through until I graduate. There are no formal requirements to be a carpenter, except you have to have a high school diploma or a GED or something equivalent to that. I already have sort of started this career, and I have a job working for Sam Wench, which is Steve Wench's son, and Steve Wench runs the building trades operation at BFA. Steve, Sam's dad, I just said that. Team USA has helped me a lot. The teachers have really encouraged me to do big and better things. Teachers have also really worked with me, and that has been an eye-opener. I sit with the teachers and we have adult conversations about work and such. Them talking with me has given me the ambition to do big and better things and getting all my work done. I think I am ready to go to high school because of the teachers I've had for the past 2 years. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Xavier Porter. When I grow up, I want to be a police officer because I want to protect and serve the people. I know it's a lot of work to become a police officer, but I think I can do it. All I need to do is get a high school diploma and attend police academy to get training. The academy program typically lasts 3 to 4 months and includes courses, civil rights, constitutional, state and local law, crime investigation, patrol, first aid, firearm use, self-defense, and traffic control.